Hello students, today we will do second part of the chapter how do organism reproduce. In the first part we have done asexual reproduction, and in this part we will learn about sexual reproduction. So first of all I will write some common points of sexual reproduction in brief, and then we will discuss each and every point. The first most important point is the sexual reproduction, it involves two parents. That is, one female parent and the other male parent or the male individual. One female individual or female organism is needed and one male parent or male organism is needed, or you can say mother or father, they are needed for sexual reproduction to take place. The second important one, these parents, these organisms, male and female, they produce germ cells. They produce germ cells. These germ cells, they are also known as gametes or sex cells. So they are produced by these organisms, male and female. This is the second point. The third point, male and female germ cells. Male and female germ cells fuse with each other, and this process is known as fertilization. The fusion of male and female gamete with each other is known as fertilization. The next is a single cell named zygote is formed. Now this zygote, which is formed by the fusion of male and female gamete, it multiplies by many divisions, and new organism is formed, or the offspring is formed. So this is in brief, very in simple language, what is sexual reproduction. First, two parents are needed, male and female. Then male and female gametes are formed. Then these gametes fuse with each other. Fertilization takes place. Then after fertilization, a single cell zygote is formed, and then this zygote multiplies again and again. Number of cells are formed, tissues are formed, organs are formed, and then a new individual or an offspring is formed. This is how sexual reproduction takes place. Now, while taking every point, I will take the example of, for discuss every point, I will take the example of human beings. Reproduction in flowering plants and in human beings are in your syllabus. To discuss these points, I am taking the example of human being. First of all, I will tell you about the DNA content of human cell, or the number of chromosomes. Because DNA is present in chromosomes, So number of chromosomes or the total DNA content is of great importance. So suppose this is a human cell, our body cell. We have about 30 trillion cells in our body. So this cell, it is having this nucleus, all of you know. This nucleus has chromosomes like this. These chromosomes are like this. Chromosomes are made up of DNA and proteins, DNA and histoproteins. So these are the chromosomes. In one human cell, 46 chromosomes are present. In one cell, 46 chromosomes are present, and this situation is known as 2n or diploid. What is this diploid or 2n situation? N is the number of chromosome in one set. It means N2, 2 into number of chromosomes in one set. It means in one set 23 chromosomes are present in human beings, or we can say two sets are present, two sets of 23 chromosomes. So 2 into 23, total 46 chromosomes are present. Are you understanding what I am saying? In human cell, which is diploid in nature, diploid means all the body cells. All the body cells in human body, they have 46 chromosomes in total. And these chromosomes have two sets of 23 each. It means the two chromosomes in one set, they are similar. Likewise, 23 sets are present. In every set, in one pair of chromosome, 23 pair of chromosomes are present. That is 2 into 23, 46 chromosomes are present in one human cell, and this condition is known as diploid. When new cells are formed in our body, cell division takes place, new cells are formed, and each cell again has 46 chromosomes each. And the division by which the same number is achieved is known as mitosis or mitotic cell division. So there are two types of cell division. One is known as mitosis cell division, and it is also known as equational cell division. Why it is known as equational? Because the number of chromosomes in the daughter cells, they are also equal. So it is known as equational or mitotic cell division. One cell divides it into two. Both the cells have same number of chromosomes, and in our body, by the multiplication of cells, repair mechanism has been taken place, new cells are formed. So this is how. And if the number of chromosome is constant, then the DNA content is also constant. Are you following? DNA, all of you know? Deoxyribose nucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid. So this is DNA, and chromosomes are formed of DNA and proteins. So if the number of chromosome is constant, then the DNA content is also constant in these cells. This is one thing, and these cells are known as diploid cell. Di means two. Two ploidy. That is, two sets of chromosomes are present in each body cell. So now we have written these parents. So suppose this is the male parent. You know, this is the sign for male and this is the sign for female. So if this is a female parent and this is a male parent, two parents are needed, a cross involved between two parents, and these male parents, they form male gametes and these form female gametes. or germ cells. These male gametes in human being, they are known as sperms. And this is somewhat the structure of sperm with a tail, and the female gamete, it is known as ovum or egg. Singular is ovum, plural is ova, and it may also be known as egg. So this is the name of the female gamete, this is the name of the male gamete. We have written here that these are the gametes are formed, that male and female gamete, they fuse to form the zygote. This is also the human cell. Sperm is also a cell. Ovum is also a cell. And these cells, these gametes are formed in human being in specialized reproductive organs. Higher animals and higher plants, they have specialized reproductive organs. And these reproductive organs, they have special reproductive parts. And these reproductive parts, all of them coordinate to form these male and female gametes. They nourish these male and female gametes and they mature for functioning. So first reproductive organs are present, then reproductive parts are present, and these parts, they produce these gametes or sex cells or germ cells. So these sperms and eggs, they are very much human cells. So if we are saying each human cell is having 46 chromosomes, or the content of DNA is equal to of the content of 46 chromosome, then this sperm must have 46 chromosomes, this ovum must have 46 chromosomes. If they are dividing by these cells, like the ordinary cell division, then what will happen when they fuse with each other and this zygote will be formed, then this zygote should have 46 plus 46, it means how many? 92 chromosomes. So in the next generation, 92 chromosomes should be present in zygote, and when this zygote divide again and again to form a new individual, all the cells of the new individual will have 92 chromosomes. What will happen in the next generation? After this individual is formed, in the next generation, the sperm and egg of this individual will have 92 and 92, and in their offsprings, these will be 92 plus 92. How many? Then the chromosome number will be 184. So a very weird or very difficult situation will arise. The DNA content gets multiplying, gets doubling after each generation. If this is the case, then what is nature is doing? Nature has devised a very unique method so that the DNA content remain constant. Nature wants that all the cells should have 46 chromosome in human being after the formation of zygote, and this zygote should have 46 chromosome so that the next organism should have 46 chromosome or the diploid condition in each cell. So what the nature is doing, what can be done? If this sperm and egg, they have 23 chromosome each, that is half the chromosome number, not 46. If this sperm has 26, egg has not 26, 23, egg also has 23, then what will happen? When they fuse to form a zygote, 23 plus 23 is equal to 46 chromosomes will be there in zygote, and this zygote can multiply with this division and all the cells will have 46. So there should be a mechanism by which these gametes, they have half the number of chromosomes than their parent cell. Yes, there is a mechanism, and this mechanism is known as meiotic cell division. There is a division known as meiotic cell division. So what happens in meiotic cell division? It is not moving. So in meiotic cell division, what is happening in meiotic cell division? The number of the chromosome, it reduced to half. So if this is the cell and it has 46 chromosome, then by meiosis or meiotic cell division, the 4 cells are formed in this case, and each cell has 23 chromosomes. And now these cells having 23 chromosomes, they are known as gametes. On both the sides, on male and female, both the sides, 23 chromosomes are there in the gametes, and when male and female gamete, they fuse to form zygote or fertilization takes place, then 23 plus 23, 46 chromosomes are achieved. This condition where the number of the chromosome halfens is known as haploid condition, or we can write N. So all the gametes, they are having haploid number of chromosomes or N number of chromosomes, or we can say a single set of chromosomes are present in gametes. When two fuse together, this single set from male, single set from female, so again the double set or 2N condition or the diploid condition is achieved. Again 46 chromosomes are formed in zygote, which multiplies to form the new organism, and each cell of new organism will have 46 chromosomes. So this meiosis, it is a special type of cell division which is taking place in reproductive organs to form this gamete. It is also known as reduction division. Why it is known as reduction division? Because it is reducing the number of chromosomes. It has reduced the number of chromosomes from 46 to 23. So by this division, gametes are formed or cell sacks are formed, and the DNA content is halved. And this half DNA content, when joins with the content of this partner, then again the same double DNA content is achieved. So we have seen that how the gametes are formed, then how this fertilization takes place. We will study it in later when we will do this reproduction in human beings, but normally the male gamete, it is small in size and it is motile. Motile means it can move, it has movement. And the female gamete or the ovum, it is bigger in size. This is the nucleus and it has this stored food in it. Because what happens, this sperm, it goes into the ovum, the nucleus of both, they unite, fertilization takes place, and this ovum or egg cell, it converts into zygote. And this zygote multiplies to form new embryo. So for its development, it needs energy, and this energy is supplied by the stored food in this egg cell. In lower animals or lower plants, lower means primitive, which are not so developed, there these male and female gamete, they are similar. They are not very different, but in higher animals as human beings or in higher plants, in flowering plants, male and female gametes, they are quite different with each other. These are normally motile, can move, and these are stationary or non-motile and fixed at one place. So this is how gametes are formed, fertilization takes place, zygote is formed, and then this zygote, it multiplies to form new embryo. Now we will do this sexual reproduction in flowering plants.